I know why you hate backpacking. And don't worry, you are not alone in this problem. There are so many people that try out backpacking, try out camping, and just hate it. Well, I've boiled it down to a few specific reasons why, and guess what? There's a solution for that. Don't suffer alone, and actually don't suffer at all. Let's dive into why you hate backpacking. If I'm getting bad sleep at night, I'm not happy. I don't like backpacking or camping if I'm not sleeping well. And if that's what you're experiencing, well, I don't blame you that you're not enjoying your camping experience. But rest assured, you don't have to suffer from that any longer, because we're gonna break down how you can actually get good sleep here on this channel. If you've been using one of these old foam mats at all at any point in your backpacking or camping history, you know how brutal it is to sleep on them. They're just not nice. You often wake up with dead legs or your body's asleep in all the wrong ways. It's just not comfortable. But there's also another important thing, is that this provides barely any R value or insulating value between you and the ground. So if you are using one of these, even if the temperatures aren't extreme, there's a good chance that you're feeling cold. Something that a lot of backpackers don't know about is that if they have a sleeping bag that, say, is rated to 15 degrees, well, an important part of that is actually the sleeping pad or the sleeping mattress. And if you don't have an R value of around 4 or higher, then you're not gonna get that warmth value out of your sleeping bag. So this right here is a 15-degree sleeping bag, and paired with this, if it's 15 degrees, I'm gonna be really, really cold out. You'll notice right here, the comfort is 28 degrees. That's a pretty big difference. So if you're expecting, oh, this trip I'm gonna take, it's gonna be 15 degrees Fahrenheit, which is quite a bit below freezing. I've got a 15-degree sleeping bag. Yeah, you're gonna live, but you're probably not going to be sleeping really well and having a comfortable night. The comfort is actually 28 degrees. So the first step to getting good sleep is to ditch this thing altogether. Well, I say that with a caveat. There is a time and place for a sleeping mat like this, but it's not for general backpacking, and it's not for most uses. Backpacking gear has come a long way, and you should start using a real mattress. R value is simply a way to measure insulation value. You see it in homes, you see it in the stuff that you put in the walls, and you see it in sleeping bags and sleeping mattresses. This is an R5 value sleeping mattress. This one's from Zenbivy, and it has become one of my favorites over the last few years. Having a mattress like this makes a huge difference in my sleep quality. It gives me a good insulation barrier from the ground, and that means that I am warm and cozy and comfortable, even in some pretty extreme temperatures. If you've still got one of these foam accordion mattresses, well, don't throw it away yet. I know I said it's trash, but I actually think that there are a couple of uses for it. If you combine this and put it underneath your sleeping mattress, you're actually gonna combine the warmth value of both of these, getting the benefits of both. Now, if you're ever camping on snow, these are particularly helpful, and I definitely recommend them. But for general 3-season, which is spring, summer, fall, I don't really use these at all, and I just use these exclusively. Sleeping bags have also come a long way. So I generally recommend down sleeping bags because they compress so much smaller and are often lighter than synthetic sleeping bags. Most down sleeping bags now also have water protection, which in the past, the big downfall with down was that if you were in a wet environment, the down could clump up and you'd have a sleeping bag that didn't keep you warm. That's mostly a thing of the past. If you're not a big fan of the tight, confined space of a mummy bag, well, there's 2 sleeping bags that I want to point out to you here today that will also really help your sleep comfort. This is the Riff from Nemo. It is a 15-degree bag that is kind of like a mummy, except it has this wide, more spoon shape to it, which gives you a lot more room around the hips and around the shoulders. So there is so much more room to move around inside this bag versus a traditional mummy bag. What does that mean for you? It means better quality sleep. Now, this has some other cool things that I thought I'd point out, some thermogills. If the temperatures are colder, you can close these up, and that's going to constrict the interior space just a little, as well as closing off your vents, making it a warmer sleeping bag. But my favorite thing is for warm summer nights is to open these up, and it gives you a much more comfortable sleeping experience. But that's not all. I have another sleeping bag that I want to show you. Oh, hey. If you want a sleeping experience that feels even more like you're sleeping in a bed at home, then you gotta check out the ZenBivy Light Bed. This mattress is made to pair with a sheet that goes around the mattress, giving you a bed-like feel, and then a comforter that goes over top. So this is a version that is great for slightly warmer temperatures, like down to 30 degrees or so. The best thing about it is that you feel unconstricted and free as a bird. You can attach this quilt to these wings to close you in if you want to create a little bit more of a warm, cozy environment. It gives you so much more freedom to choose how you want to sleep. One more thing, if you're not using a pillow, well, honestly, you are big time missing out, and I don't know what you're doing. Using a pillow instead of just a balled up jacket and a t-shirt is a huge part of getting good sleep. And if you're not doing this, it's probably why you're not enjoying yourself. Get yourself a nice pillow. I like these super lightweight inflatable ones, but if you want to go hard in the paint, like some of my friends do, they bring full pillows that aren't inflatable. One of my favorite parts of the ZenBivy Light Bed is just being able to tuck my head in. This is insulated, so if I tuck my head in and cozy up like this, that's nice. How's my hair? Some of my tips here today are about getting the right gear, but I don't want it to be only about buying new things. So there's some other tricks you can do that are really important for good quality sleep. One thing is to just sleep in a light, comfortable base layer. Something like this, if you want, or even lighter weight than this, is very comfortable and cozy. I also really like sleeping in a lightweight long john that's loose fitting. So if I have loose fitting clothing that's warm, it really adds to my coziness and I sleep great. The other thing that it does that is a little bit underrated is that if I'm sweaty and sticky and just feeling kind of gross, just wearing a loose fitting layer that covers my arms and covers my legs means that I'm not sticking to myself and I'm not sticking to my sleeping bag. So wearing the right clothing to go to bed is a big part of comfortable sleep. Now there's one more thing that I think is really important, and that is your feet. Your feet are often the thing that get the coldest the fastest. And if you're camping in cooler weather conditions, there's a good chance that you are uncomfortable with your feet. Your feet are what is going to freeze or get cold first. I really like to take some extra gear that I've just got laying around and put it at the bottom of my tent, especially if I'm a stomach sleeper. My feet will hang off and will touch the ground. Even though they're in a sleeping bag, they'll touch the ground, and then that cold will escape through my feet and into the ground. And that is not very comfortable. There's one more thing that is the tried and true. You fill up some hot, close to boiling water, you put it in an Nalgene bottle, you throw that in the bottom of your sleeping bag, and you've got a heater that will heat up your sleeping bag all night long and really add to your comfort and coziness as you sleep. Cozy socks are a big part of the equation. If you get some socks that are just for sleeping, some nice warm wool socks, keep them clean, don't hike in them, have an extra pair that you reserve only for sleeping, and it will really help make your feet feel more comfortable, keep your feet warmer, and just be a better sleep experience. And my last little trick is having a good clean pair of sleeping underwear as well. If you've been hiking all day and you've got some dirty, sweaty underwear, don't sleep in those. Sleep in some clean underwear and have those just for sleeping in, and you will sleep so much better. I think the first place that any new hiker, backpacker, camper should spend their money is on good gear for sleep. It's the one thing that really, really, really impacts your overall experience in such a dramatic way. If you're sleeping good, you're having fun, and you're enjoying your camp out. The first place I'd spend the money is in a good mattress, followed by a good sleeping bag, and then probably a nice quality tent. So if you're feeling cozy, you're feeling protected, you're feeling warm, you're feeling dry, and you're sleeping good, then life is good and you're gonna wanna get out and do this again. The biggest complaint I've seen over and over again is that their first or second or third try backpacking, they just consistently get bad sleep, and therefore they just lose interest in doing it. And if that's you, well, I encourage you to get out there and do one more try. Do it with some good sleep gear, use some of these tricks, and I guarantee it, you will sleep so much better, and you're gonna then enjoy the experience. And that's what this is all about. If you've got some other tricks or tips that you recommend for people getting good gear, getting good sleep, then I'd love to hear from you here on the channel. I'm Eric Hansen. I'm gonna go enjoy this beautiful day here in the mountains. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you later.